go ahead and put your name on it. I see a lot of you done that already. Put journal number 11. This is going to be number 11. Well, like I said, we're not going to start it right away, but this way you're all set when you get it. So we've got a lot of stuff. The main goal today is not going to be that much different from yesterday. So if you felt pretty comfortable yesterday, you'll probably do pretty well today. It's all about knowing what carrying capacity is. That'll help you out today. So we're going to try to review what carrying capacity is. And there's another word you're going to need to know today, getting back here. The other really, really important word is limiting factors. Limiting, can anyone explain what a limiting factor would be of an ecosystem? If I said, there are some limiting factors in the woods there for squirrels. There are some limiting factors in my fish tank for fish. Maybe don't forget the fish tank. Philip.
Oh, limiting factors are stuff that limits the number of organisms within an ecosystem.
Well said, Philip. Well said. He's looking at his notes, but that's okay. It limits the number of things that can live there. And limiting factors do one of two things. Don't always think of them as being bad. Lots of times people see limiting factors and they think, oh, it's going to make less fish or less squirrels or less rabbits. Limiting factors also determine the maximum too. So it determines both, the minimum and maximum. Is there anyone who has decent handwriting that wouldn't mind writing down the word or something like that? Solid handwriting. Summer, you raised your hand pretty confidently. You sure can? Okay. Summer, give me a marker. Use whichever marker writes better. So think, again, you can use squirrels if you want as your example. Like, what would limit the number of squirrels in the woods? You can use fish. But can anyone think specifically of something that would limit the number of squirrels that could live in a wooded area? Or something that could limit the number of fish? What's one thing that could be a limiting factor? Carrie? Predators. Ooh, very good. Predators. The number of predators. If there's a lot, probably low amounts. So put predators on the board for us. P. You got it, Kevin?
Yeah.
Thank you for writing that large. Make sure you write as large as you can. Okay, so we've got predators. A lot of predators, maybe less. A few predators that can really thrive. Charlie?
Food sources.
Ooh, food. Let's just put food up there. Food sources. Josh? Ooh, a lot of people forget that obvious, easy one, water. So we can just put water there. Set the amount of water. Taylor. Okay, what do you mean by habitats? Like, what about the habitat?
Like, say squirrels and there's like 50 trees and there's like 100 squirrels.
Okay, so,
Limited habitats.
ooh, okay, we could say number of habitats. How does that sound, Taylor? That's what she was getting at there. She was saying number of habitats. I like that. Thank you guys for using hands too. Mark?
The climate.
Ooh, the climate. Sometimes people say weather, but weather or climate, that's good. William?
Nesting ground.
Nesting grounds. So you can put nesting grounds. We used the word yesterday, breeding a little bit, so space to either nest, breed, basically space to reproduce themselves. That's going to obviously limit the population. Keisha? Thank you. She probably learned that as you're in science. She mentioned pollution or pollutants. Let's put pollution up there. Huge limiting factor. L. U. T-I-O-N. She's got it. Philip, there's more?
Space.
Space. And I know that sounds similar to what Taylor said, but just physical space. We put space. By the way, who was it? Carrie, you said to count my 6th grade class. Remember we made the list and see if they had.
Oh, yeah.
They beat you guys by like 4. They came up with 14. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We have 15.
So help me out. Think about this. No, it's okay. Think about this. What else could limit the amount of organisms that could live somewhere? Because these. Listen. Good. People forget that. We take that for granted. She said oxygen. That's especially important in the aquatic environments because remember, fish need it to breathe too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's at least hit 10. I think we can. Xavier. What'd you say? Thank you. And I know that sounds like pollution, but he said human activity. It doesn't have to be pollution necessarily. If I decide I want to build a bunch of houses where those trees are, that's human activity. We've got more. Josh.
Is temperature?
You know what? We've got climate. Put next to climate, Summer, put /temperature. I'll give you half credit for that. Because they're very similar temperatures more today, climate's more long range. But you're absolutely right, that's going to limit it for sure. I'll almost give you full credit for that one. You've got more? There's got to be something else that could limit it. Summer.
The number of animals that are going to live there, like,
The number of animals living there. Let's see if we can think of this. I think we covered the word yesterday. There's a word that starts with the letter C for it. There's the pile of food. I eat the food, but those guys over there want it. There's a word that starts with the letter C for when those all are going after the same thing. Raimundo? Competition, very good. Very good. I'm just glad I saw a lot of hands there. Let's put competition. I think that's what someone was getting at. Carrie, you got another one?
producing?
Remember? No one said that yesterday in either of my classes. She said the number of producers. Carrie, why would that go up there? Why would that limit? Why would that affect the number of things that can live there?
Because if they didn't have anything to produce food, then they could have ate and it would be like the people or animals in that different.
In the thingamajiggy, the environment. Very good. Perfect. Producers. And I know that goes along with food, and there's going to be some people like, well, we said food already, but producers, its own thing. Put producers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can count temperature at 13. If we can get one more, we'll tie my sixth period. William's been patient for a while. Sunlight, which connects to what Carrie said with the producers, amount of sunlight. So put sunlight, yep. Because think about how much, if there were actually plants in this said fish tank, how much sunlight they needed. You can't even tell me what on that. Thank you for not laughing. Okay, we have tied my last class. We can meet them, and I will tell them that you guys got 15. If we can think of another, it's got to be legitimate. I'm not going to put like UFOs. You know what? Absolutely. She said decomposers. The number of decomposers is going to have effect. Do you have any example, Keisha, of why the decomposers would affect the amount of like other animals there?
They'll break down stuff like the plants gonna get
Well said. She said if the decomposers aren't there to break down stuff, the plants are going to get nutrients. We already beat my class, but Philip wants to make sure that they can't beat it. So go ahead, Philip.
Shelter?
Okay. Since she said habitat, good new word. It's too close to habitat. I can't give you credit. Thank you, Philip. Mark? Disease. I think that did come up yesterday from someone. Disease can have a huge effect. I was about to ask, what did you just spend like a month or two learning about? Disease. Very good. And it's not just humans. I know we focused on humans with that. Okay, Summer's arm is getting tired from writing. Is there anything else that you think is vital, that you're like, it needs to be on the list?